What's up, America? Neil here with Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to have in a video open up a discussion about should you engage if you're armed. So let's get started. Before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you to Sportsman's Guide. If you guys are not members of Sportsman's Guide, I highly encourage you to do so. They've got an incredible offer going on right now. For $49, you get free shipping on any item over $49. You also get a 30-day free trial. You get 5% off on all their guns and ammo. Plus, you get 10% off on all their gear. You also get an exclusive exclusive deals that are 20 to 50% off that are only for club members. And the biggest part of this, you guys, is they are big supporters of the Second Amendment community. They're huge supporters of us. They're huge supporters of our Patreon, and we cannot thank them enough. So I encourage you, click on the banners, go look at the links, but get there, get involved with Sportsman's Guide. They've got a lot of cool stuff. I'm an outdoorsman myself, not just shooting, but I also like camping and stuff like that. I've always gone to them for tents and gear and outdoor stuff. They've got a humongous selection, and again, definite partners in the 2A fight. So check them out, Sportsman's Guide. On to the movie, folks. So if you are armed, should you engage? And are there other things that come along with that? Is there any are you going to face any additional scrutiny, or are you held to a higher standard? All right, that's really kind of the basis of all this. So first of all, whether you engage or not, armed or unarmed, is a decision that you and only you can make. There's a lot of different folks out there. It doesn't matter what profession you're in, that when you hear gunfire, when you hear somebody's in trouble, that you're going to go towards that danger. It's a very small percentage. There's a lot of talkers, but not a lot of walkers. A lot of people who say they're going to do this, and oh, I'd blast that person, and oh, I do this and that. But at the end of the day, when it's real and things are going down, very few are actually going to go towards that. Obviously, as a law enforcement officer, and to my brothers and sisters out there, that's our responsibility, that's our job. When everybody's running in one direction, we have to go towards danger. And for all of you, I thank you for your service. And for all of you who are veterans, and all those who are currently serving, I thank you for your service. Once again, the same type of folks, got to go towards danger. Now, regardless of what you do for a living, or what your belief system is, you as an individual, you're going to have to make that decision. That aside, let's say that you are the person who is going to be armed. You're the CCW person, that guy or gal. You got a couple things. First of all, by carrying your gun concealed the smart way, that is your ace in the hole. And what I always teach folks, and I think almost all the instructors out there, the idea here is that this is your last ditch tool. You're not training, and it's kind of funny when you think about it, as instructors, our whole life's mission to train and teach folks is a skill set that hopefully you never use. It's kind of ironic, but at the end of the day, all that training is all done just for the fact that it's a life or death scenario, and you're either going to go home or you're not. And I'm not going to get into the local laws because I don't know every state, but I can just talk from my own state. You have the right to defend another in our state if that person has the right to use deadly force in their scenarios. In other words, if someone pulls a gun on somebody at a store, at the clerk, that clerk has the right to use deadly force to defend themselves, because obviously deadly force is placed onto them. So as a bystander, I have the right to protect them. That is your decision. The other thing you have to take into account is it really deadly force? If someone was trying to just end you, would there be this big display? Would there be a conversation? Would they ask you for anything? It would just be, they'd probably come up from behind and shoot you. So typically, when someone brings out a tool, a firearm or knife or whatever, it's to intimidate you and to get you to comply with whatever their wishes are. So when we look at it from that perspective, you have to realize that when you do engage, if you choose to do so, that you're going to be held at a higher standard. That is an absolute guarantee. When you go to court, and you will go to court, because it doesn't matter, even if you have no criminal charges, that person, they're going to sue. Their family member is going to sue. And you're going to have to defend yourself. And, you know, a lot of people, especially in the gun community, have like this fantasy that they're going to be judged by 12, you know, Americans, and it's they're all chanting you on. That's not the case. That's not reality. Reality is there's going to be people that, even though you put your life on the line and you took all the risks, they're still going to dislike you for the simple fact that you have a firearm, and most importantly, that you use that firearm, even though you used it responsibly. So what you have to decide is, are you the type of person that wants to risk it all? Do you want to risk the rest of your life to defend another? And that is not a question that I can answer for you. That's a question only you can answer. And if you do, are you prepared for the onslaught of legal fees? I mean, think about when you watch the news and a law enforcement officer, even if they've acted in everything, it was a proper shooting, they followed all policies and procedures, it's still going to be all over the news that this officer shot and killed somebody. Even though that he or she did the right thing, it's still going to be a big deal. And there's no way around that. You're going to have to deal with that. So these are all considerations you're going to have to face when you make that decision of whether you're going to engage or not. Let's talk about the unknown, and this is a big deal. I talk about this a lot in CCW classes because these are folks that want to be armed and they want to protect themselves, but they also a lot of times don't have the proper mindset. They don't understand the full situation of this. Let's say, for example, and I'll tell this story, I've told this a million times in CCW classes, and I'll tell all you guys today. This is a police report out of Florida, right? This guy's an avid jogger, and he also is an avid carrier, and during his routine, he's running doing his run, and in the park, there's a little girl on the ground with a man on top of her, and he's moving his hands all over her, and she's yelling, "Get him off me, get him off me." So this jogger, all good intentions, trying to do the right thing, pulls out his firearm and shoots this individual, thinking it's a molestation. And the little girl gets up and says, "What happened to my daddy?" Because what had happened was she had fire ants on her, and so this father was trying to get the ants off, probably panicked or whatever. She's screaming, hollering. And that's the consequences now. This person who was trying to do the right thing but didn't have all the facts and acted in a manner in which he felt was the correct action, even if nothing comes of it other than the fact that he has to live with the fact that he shot someone's father. How do you live with that? It doesn't matter what your intentions are. It matters what all the facts are. And you have split seconds to make these life-altering decisions. Okay? Yeah, and I always say it like this. If I have a gun and this guy has a gun and we're pointing at each other, who's the bad guy? What if I don't have a gun and he has a gun? Is he the bad guy? Why? Because he has a gun? What if he just tried to abduct my child and has her in a van and I'm trying to come over there? Or the opposite of the case. I have his child, I'm going to abduct her, and this guy pulls a gun. And you shoot him because he had a gun. Because at the moment you thought you were doing the right thing. The point of this whole video is that the fact that you have a gun now puts you at a higher level of scrutiny. You have to make extra certain that if you do decide to take action, especially lethal action, action that could end someone's life, that you absolutely positively know the situation beforehand. And in many times, that's almost impossible. Let's talk about the third point here. First of all, property can never be defended with the use of force. In other words, if someone breaks the law, and I think this is where a lot of people kind of misunderstand this. Just because someone broke the law doesn't mean that you can use your weapon. Okay? For example, in my state, if you were to break into my house, you were to, and I will tell you this right now, I don't think there's a state in the union that would back you on this one. If someone breaks into your house, they grab your TV, and they start running out the front door, you catch them and shoot them from behind, you're going to go to prison. I can't imagine a single state that would back you, because there's no way that you could prove that you were about to receive serious bodily harm or death. How? Now, the person did break in your house, they did steal your property, but stealing property is never going to be justifiable by using deadly force. And I'll tell you this, one of the top attorneys in the country is a good friend of mine, and he's told me this directly from him. You could take 100 attorneys, you could take a scenario, and run it past 100 attorneys, and they're going to have different results. Not all of them are going to agree. Not to mention the fact that at the end of the day, as the saying goes, you're going to be judged by 12. You could take the same exact set of facts and put it in front of several different juries of 12, and they may all have different answers. They may all come up to different results. There are no guarantees. It is not a clear-cut matter. There is a lot of gray in the area. Now, no matter where you live and what the situation is, what type of person you are, the one thing you can do is be the best witness possible. Take photos, take videos, take notes, whatever you have to do. Obviously, call police immediately and do the best you can. This gives much information, license plates, directions of travel, colors of vehicles, descriptions of people. Do everything you can to provide law enforcement with as much information as you can so they can do their job. So ultimately, should you engage, that's going to be up to you. And I'll be honest with you, if I could meet all of you individually, I'd look you in the eyes and say, you have no idea. You can tell me what your plans are and what you think you are, but until you're put in a situation where shots are fired and you got to make that decision that if you go that way, you may not come back ever again. Are you really willing to do that to save another? Until you're in that situation, you won't know. All right, guys, hopefully you found this helpful. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a clear-cut answer, but realistically, no one can. It's impossible. No attorney, no law enforcement, no one can give you a clear-cut answer on that one. It's going to be a personal decision, and it's going to be based situationally. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. We always appreciate that. You can find us on all the fancy medias that we put them out. We put them on YouTube, Facebook. We tweet now. And of course, we put all our A-list stuff on Patreon. In fact, we're doing a fitness and nutrition series. So if you're interested in that, that's going to be out there. A big, huge thank you to the Sportsman's Guide. We couldn't be where we are without you guys. And we highly encourage everybody to go ahead and check them out. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.